In this video tutorial, we will explain how to use the vapor diffusion setup of the CrystalBreeder instrument. CrystalBreeder is a multi-reactor crystallization platform for early-stage solid-state discovery. It operates at working volumes of 0.06 to 0.1 milliliters, with real-time turbidity readings for 32 parallel reactors and 8 independent temperature-controlled experiments. CrystalBreeder can be operated with different modules using additional setups. This video tutorial will focus on how to use the vapor diffusion setup for your experiments. This technique is used for growing slow crystals from a solution by gradually introducing a solvent into the saturated solution. This controlled process facilitates the formation of high-quality crystals, making it an essential method for crystallization in various scientific fields. To perform vapor diffusion experiments with CrystalBreeder, connect the vapor diffusion setup with a power supply cable and the CrystalBreeder connector. Then turn on the heater using the switch located next to the power supply input. Now, we will show how to perform an experiment with the vapor diffusion module using an example of antisolvent crystallization. To prepare the sample, add solute to 0.1 milliliters of solvent to form saturated solution in one set of vials. In another set of vials, add 0.1 milliliters of antisolvent. Tightly close the cap of the vials to avoid any leakage of the vapors. Place the setup in 2 blocks of reactors. To start the heating, cover the tubes with the assigned heater. It is important to note that each heater is designated to 2 reactors. When an experiment starts from reactor A or reactor B, heater 1 will be turned on. The heaters and controllers are assigned according to the table shown. On the controller panel, click on Set and increase the temperature to the desired value. It is recommended to increase the temperature above the boiling point of the antisolvent to prevent condensation. To start an experiment, open the crystallization system software and check the software version. You can do this in the Help section by clicking on the About Crystallization Systems option. The software version 1.16.0.1217 or higher will have the option to operate the vapor diffusion module. Click on the reactor where the vials are placed with solute and solvent. Create a new experiment by clicking on Create. Fill in the details of the experiment, like experiment name, username and description. For the type of cap, select Vapor Diffusion, which allows you to enable the Vapor Diffusion option while performing the experiment. Vapor diffusion setup cannot be operated with stirrers. Fill in the details of the 4 vials, such as compound, solvent, and concentration. After filling the experiment details, go to the next tab, the Experiment Program, to program the desired experiment steps. Insert empty rows by clicking Add. First, increase the temperature to saturation temperature by adding a ramp action and mention the end temperature and heating rate as desired. To enable the vapor diffusion for this step, select On. When the vapor diffusion is on during the program step, the heater will go to its set temperature. In the next row, add a hold step to maintain the same temperature. Mention the duration for the step. Similarly, switch on the vapor diffusion for this step. After programming the experiment steps, save it, and start the experiment. Open the other reactor where the vials with antisolvent are placed. Similarly, create a new experiment and fill in the experiment details. Select the vapor diffusion cap as the type of cap, and fill in the details of the 4 vials. After filling the details, go to the Experiment Program tab. Here you can program the experiment steps. Increase the temperature by adding a ramp to any temperature near or above the boiling point of the antisolvent. It is recommended to keep the temperature the same as the temperature maintained in the vapor diffusion heater. Keep the same temperature for a long duration by adding a hold step. Keep the vapor diffusion on during the experiment. Save and start the experiment. When the vapor diffusion heater is on during the program steps for any of the reactor blocks, the vapor diffusion heater will turn on and go to its set point temperature, which is represented by the light on the controller. The vapor diffusion heater will heat the tubes with a fixed heating rate of 3.12 degrees Celsius per minute. The set temperature will be maintained only in the tubes, which will allow the anti-solvent to evaporate from one set of vials kept at higher temperature to the other set of vials kept at lower temperature and condense to start crystallization. When the experiment is complete, the heater will be turned off automatically, and it will show as stop. Be careful when removing the heater as tubes can be hot. Export, save or discard the experiment file as desired. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out to us.